Hey friends, it's Dimitri with Rubashka Streetwear, and today we're going to be talking about episode 2 in the How to Start a Clothing Brand series, and that topic is developing a concept. So, in the first episode, I talked about brainstorming. If you haven't watched that one yet, you should go watch it. That's basically you're gathering a bunch of your ideas together. In this stage, what you're doing is you're getting the funnel. You're narrowing it down into a concept. So you have all your ideas right here. You're getting rid of some, you're adding some, and finally you're getting down to something that is more narrowed down and something that you can go off of. And it's essentially going to be your blueprint for your brand. That's your concept. Write that down. Concept equals blueprint. And there's going to be two main things I'm going to talk about in this episode to make your blueprint. You're going to have your theme, and you're going to have your mood board. So you might have already been making a mood board, maybe even without knowing it, in the brainstorming stage, but we're gonna still go more into depth about that. And if you haven't really been making a mood board, you can do that. But before we talk about the mood board, we gotta talk about the theme, because that's gonna be your springboard into that. And the theme, there is two segments of a theme within your brand. And the reason why I'm gonna encourage you to pick a theme is because it's going to be something concrete that your target market can grasp, and it's going to be something that they can refer to your brand. So within the theme, you have two themes actually. You have your overarching theme, and then you have sub themes. So your overarching theme is basically the big idea about your brand. So for example, Supreme, that's one of the biggest streetwear brands, their overarching theme within their brand, what their brand's about, is that it's a skatewear brand. I'll write that down for you guys. So Supreme equals skatewear. That's originally what their brand is about, and they still kind of encompass that. And then within the skatewear genre, they have a bunch of sub-themes and topics that they cover. For example, my overarching theme is Cold War, but even that, it's like Cold War aesthetic, really. But even that is still sort of too large and too vague. What does that mean? This is a time period from the late 40s to the very early 90s, and that encompasses a lot of global and historical events. So what I do with that, though, is I create sub-themes. A lot of sub-themes from the Cold War aesthetic would be military, history, social issues. So basically the sub theme that can go on like infinitely. There's so much stuff you can pick from that. A lot of sub themes that I see in streetwear today would be like horror genre, religious stuff. A lot of streetwear, people like to put like references to Jesus. They might put an image of Jesus, a cross. Other brands could do stuff related to other religions, but that's definitely been like a big part of it. I've seen that. War is definitely a big one. That's always been a topic that has been covered in streetwear, and it's something that I'm gonna always cover because it's interesting to me, like the war and military. So sub-themes are essentially foundations for collections that you can make. Sub-themes. And this is like one of the most fun parts to do. to make collections is because you're essentially repeating this process all the time when you're doing your sub-themes. And well, I gotta write collections in there for you guys. You're essentially repeating this process all the time when you do this, and it's really fun to just find lots of source material and to create designs and to create aesthetics and stickers and posters, all the products that you're making. It's a lot of fun to do that. So to say this again, what you want to do is you want to have an overarching theme. You got to pick that, and then from there you're gonna be creating lots of sub themes, and those sub themes you're gonna be able to create collections for your brand and stuff that people can reference. So a lot of streetwear brands last year, they covered social issues. That was definitely something that people could understand and relate to, and they would want to support that brand. I will say though, this can be very touchy, and you got to be careful with this a lot. And never fake it. Never do something just because everyone else is doing it. You got to really, if you want to do something, do it from your heart, and don't be like a faker. Don't be a grifter with that when you're covering social issues, because that can be a very dense and a serious topic. So now we're going to go on to the mood board. The mood board is very similar to brainstorming, but the mood board is essentially the aesthetic, I can't write today, the aesthetic of your brand. And within that aesthetic, you're going to have things like the styles, emotions, colors, fonts, etc. So a good way to kind of do this procedure and learn from it is to go find one of your favorite brands, go on their website, go on their social medias. If you have some of their clothing, grab some of it and create a mood board for what you think that brand is. What kind of emotions does it convey from you? Do you get angry? Do you get sad, happy, energetic? What kind of emotions are stirring up in you when you look at the pieces? Does it make you laugh? Is it witty? What kind of colors are they using? Do they have a very dark aesthetic and they use very toned down dark colors such as black, lots of black? Or do they have like a clean aesthetic and you see lots of white, clean lines, very simple, minimal designs? Is it like a minimalist brand? What kind of fonts are they using? Your fonts, you want your fonts to reference, or fonts and typefaces, you want those to reference your brand in the correct way. So if I'm going for a clean aesthetic, I'm definitely not going to want to use very gritty and like ugly fonts, like huge, super bold and black. That doesn't really make sense. So that's definitely something that you could do. Before you start doing it for your brand, go and practice this mood boarding on another brand so you can kind of start to get your brain going. The reason why I say you should pick a theme before you do the mood board is a lot of the stuff from your theme is going to be transferred into the mood board. So if I was going to make, let's say I'm restarting this whole brand. If I was going to make a mood board for the brand, let's say I picked the Cold War. My mood board, I'm going to write it up here for mine. So Rubashka mood board. So my mood board would have a lot of like drab colors, black, gray, I have lots of army green kind of stuff. The emotions that it would stir would be some humor, there's seriousness in it, it's witty, it's some of the stuff's comical, stuff like that. So what I like to say is I like to take kind of serious historical topics, but I like to reinterpret them in a new and fresh way, and I make it relatable to people, and it can be interpreted more into a a less serious way, like more weightiness. And another thing that I would put in my mood board would be lots of images and stuff like that. So, red would be a big color in it as well. That's like, the Soviet Union flag. It's a lot of red, and I incorporate lots of red and yellow actually into my designs. For some reason, it's like subconsciously in there. I'm always putting like red and yellow because I don't necessarily like those colors. It just makes sense for the brand. Lots of political, images, historical images. Those would be added onto my mood board. So I would kind of get like the feeling for my brand. That's essentially what the mood board is. It's like the feeling for your brand. It's the tone. It sets the feelings and the tones for your brand. So in conclusion, what you want to do in this stage in making the rough blueprint for your brand is you want to pick a theme, and then you want to make a mood board for it. And this way you're going to have everything compiled together, and then you're going to be ready to go on to the next stages. So I hope that you guys got value out of this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will start making episode number 3 for you guys next time. Anyways, have a good day, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks, guys.